Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. What if I told you the moment that decides the NFC North didn't happen on a Sunday? It happened quietly, midweek, in the shadows of Allen Park while the rest of the league scrolled past the headline. What if the next step in Detroit's rise isn't a billboard signing but a chess move you only appreciate when the board flips in December? And what if, while we're sharpening one blade, a rival is rumored to be forging a sword so sharp it can slice games in half from the edge? Stay with me, because the next 30 seconds will change how you watch this team for the rest of the year. You feel it, right? The air is heavier, the margins thinner, the windows smaller. This isn't the cute, early rebuild energy anymore. This is the part where contenders harden steel, where rotation pieces matter, where down and distance becomes destiny, where the difference between a punt and a parade is a single step off the edge. And somewhere between those steps is where Detroit can tilt the season. Here's what we're doing today. I'm going to show you why a seemingly modest move actually speaks fluent January, how Detroit's front office is quietly remodeling the edge room with a very specific prototype, and why whispers out of the division about a superstar disruptor could force the Lions to accelerate the plan. I'll break down traits, roles, packages, snap-to-snap leverage, and exactly how this defense can answer an NFC North arms race. If you're new here, smash that subscribe, drop a like, and buckle in, because we're about to talk the kind of football that decides playoff seeding. Let's start with a truth every champion admits in private. Four-man heat is the purest currency in January. You beat elite quarterbacks not by blitzing your soul out and praying. You beat them by collapsing timing with 4, covering with 7, and living in third and long. You need speed you can steer, length you can leverage, and bend that shows. Up even when hands are late and hips are losing the race. That's why remodel isn't just a word, it's a blueprint, and you know the culture. This staff doesn't collect names, it collects traits, violent hands, urgent first steps, late rep stamina, guys who can align wide, threaten high, then snap under, who can stunt from outside in and still find daylight in traffic. The room must be loud even when the stadium is quiet. That's how you win the drive that matters most. Quick pause. If you love this kind of granular, no-fluff Lions talk, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're building a community that understands not just what Detroit did, but why it matters when the season gets cold. Back to the work. Picture two forces reshaping the math in the North. One is a skyscraper, lean, long, sudden, built for loops, and long-arm leverage, a developmental edge whose first step looks like a trap door opening under a left tackle. The other is a meteor, an every-down terror who turns protections into puzzles and third downs into highlight packages. One you grow, one you fear. One lives in your house. One might be moving into your neighbor's yard. Schematically, that means this defense has to be bilingual. On one page, you need wide 9 speed, stunt-friendly body types, and a looper who can knife the B-gap when the tackle oversets. On the other, you need answers if the division adds a thermonuclear rusher, condensed sets, motion to force edges to declare, chips that hit early and leave late, run game that punishes width, and play action that attacks the space vacated by a wide alignment. Remodel isn't cosmetic, it's survival. There's also a front office philosophy baked in: keep a live wire or two in the lab. The practice squad isn't storage, it's a runway. You cycle traits, you refine moves, you teach Plan A, Plan B, Plan C within 3 seconds, and when the calendar flips, you elevate the one who can win a rep with nothing but twitch, length, and stubbornness. It's how good teams manufacture new pressure in Week 12 without spending March money. Okay, here's the news, and it's a two-parter that explains everything we've been circling. Detroit has officially filled its final practice squad, slot with edge rusher Andre Carter, a long, urgent, traits-driven pass rusher tailor-made for stunt work and wide alignments. And across the border, there's loud divisional chatter about the Packers exploring a blockbuster pursuit of Micah Parsons, Nothing official, but enough smoke to track, enough consequence to plan for. That's the remodel in one snapshot. Add. Length and juice now. Prepare for an arms race tomorrow. Who is Carter, really? Think 6'6" with wingspan that steals space before contact. Think first step that forces a tackle to speed set, just a hair too far, then a long arm to the inside hip that converts speed to power without needing brute mass. He's got a spinner's core, compact, fast, and hard to frame up. So, stunts feel natural. Threaten high, sell the speed, spin under, finish on a straight line. As a looper, he can cross the quarterback's face quickly, and that matters on 3rd and 7 when a center passes off the 3-tech and suddenly sees a blur. He's not a finished run defender yet. Pad level and anchor will need the weight room. And reps. But the motor is honest, and the stride length erases angles in pursuit. Fit him into Detroit's palette and the combinations get interesting. On money downs, you can live with Hutchinson as the alpha end. A heavy 3-tech who can dent the pocket, and a wild card, Carter, either wide to threaten the top of the rush or looping inside to hunt the crease. Pair that with simulated pressures. From the second level, mug the A-gaps, bail late, and you manufacture free runners without betting the farm. The goal isn't sacks per se, it's contaminated pockets and panicked feet. Zoom out, and the remodel word earns its stripes. You're not just adding an athlete, you're resetting an archetype in the room. Long, urgent, inside-out versatility, stunt-friendly hips. Even if Carter starts on teams and special packages, the intent is clear. Widen the repertoire so your third down menu doesn't read like yesterday's. It also relieves the calendar. You're not waiting on a February splash to upgrade rush. You're incubating it now. Now, let's address the meteor in the rumor mill. If the Packers actually push chips toward a Parsons-level weapon, here's the counterpunch. Run it with, not away from it. Duo, split zone, GF power. Make the edge. Tackle a choice between wrong and late. Motion the Y across the formation to widen the alignment. Chip with the back on the way out, and build in keepers that punish over-aggression. In protection, change the picture. Slide to the star on 3rd and medium, then in high-leverage downs. Show the same slide and bring the back opposite to wall off the inside counter. You won't erase a meteor, you redirect it into traffic. And defensively, a divisional superstar forces your offense to learn faster. But it also sharpens your own. Front. Nothing develops a young looper like practice reps against max protection staples. You'll see 6- and 7-man protections in the North, and that's where a traits guy thrives, because when roots are slow to develop, the second move becomes the first move: spin, rip, counter, chase. That's Carter's classroom. Why now, though? Because the cap lives in layers, not headlines. Practice squad edges are the cheapest bets with the highest playoff yield. If one stick of dynamite hits in December, you've added a pass rush answer for pennies. And if he doesn't hit? You. Churn the slot and protect the philosophy. Length, urgency, bend, until one does. That's how you keep the front fresh without burning draft capital every spring. Expectations check. Nobody's crowning a savior. What you can crown is a role. 3rd and long, 15 to 18 snaps if elevated. First in line to loop when offenses slide to 97. That's the immediate vision. The long-term vision is a body that can anchor better on early downs, lean into a bull rush when tackles sit for the spin, and finish with tighter hands so slips turn into stamps. If the motor stays hot, the rest is teachable. There's also a locker room signal in all this. Detroit keeps telling its edges. If you can win fast with your first 2 steps and you'll hustle for 9 seconds when the play breaks, you'll get a runway here. That message attracts a certain mentality: chasing, straining, celebrating cleanup sacks like strip 6 returns. You need that in a room. Pressure football is a mood. So where does this leave the Lions if the NFC North escalates? Oddly, in control. You've insulated yourself against one-man wrecking crews by building an offense that can control script, and you're insulating the defense by diversifying how pressure is made. The remodel isn't about splash, it's about options. Wide 9 when you want speed. TE games when you want confusion. Sim pressures when you want doubt. And now, a long lever looper who can turn a bad tackle set into a drive ender. If you've ridden with this team since the lean days, you know exactly why this matters. The difference between 11-5 and 13-4 can be 3 third downs in November. The difference between hosting in January and traveling can be one edge who wins a rep with a spin he learned on a Wednesday. That's the margin Detroit is buying with this kind of move. All right, your turn. Do you see Carter as a December elevator or a 2025 project? And if the divisional meteor actually lands, what's your favorite way to blunt it? Pound at it on the ground, or slow it with chips and play action? Shots behind it? Drop your read below. If you're about that blue-collar, detail-heavy Lions talk, hit subscribe, throw a like, and share this with a fan who lives for the trenches. The remodel is underway, the arms race is real, and Detroit's answer is already in the building. Let's go win the rep. Let's go win the drive. Let's go win the North.